All right. I might. All right. I might talk about that documentary I watched too. That said it's definitely from that P4 bio there
about protein
in Wuhan. Yeah, that would be a good thing to do. Hey, shalom, shalom. It is Sister Kate here. It is April 13th, a Monday, and Pastor and I are going to do a live stream.
Live stream!
And we were just talking about what exactly we wanted to talk about. Shalom, Harriet. Shalom, Dog Patriot. Shalom, Patriot Preparedness. Welcome to the channel. Welcome. Woo, woo, woo.
Can they see you now?
Yeah. Renee Stump. Shalom. Shalom, Midnight
Renee Stump, I owe
Moonlight.
you an answer to your email. It will take a little while.
Hey, Earl's daughter. Hello, beautiful, she said. Woo. D-Neck. Shalom. You made a comment on one of my videos recently, and I didn't understand it. And I wish I had looked it up. Hey, there's Tony.
Hey, shalom.
Shalom. Good to see you guys. Mr. LA Hunter 29. Hello, it's Harry. Hey, Suze said good evening. Action Jackson Tracker said shalom.
I'm going to get you up on here so I can watch your comments.
All right, John Taylor, good afternoon from not so sunny lower upstate New York. Shalom. And there's BK. Shalom.
All the cool people are here.
That's right.
I should sit closer.
I know. Can you get closer?
I can.
And I've got to lean over, so you'll see me shifting my weight and stuff because I can only lean for so long.
That's too bright.
It is too bright. So, first thing we were going to talk about a little bit was the poll that I put on the community. That's pretty good. The community's part of my channel. Now it's not so big.
It's okay.
That's okay. I poll, when do you think they're going to lift the quarantine? Not necessarily get.
Who's they?
FedGov. You may be under a stay-home thing from your city or whatever. And 41% of you said June 1st. And that's
41%. So what did most people say?
That is the biggest percentage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. June 1st. And then I had, would it be August? Would it be
Sheepdog Patriot, you are a cool kid.
December, spring 2021, and fall 2021. And the reason I gave
Brother Chris is here.
Hey, shalom, Brother Chris. June 1st, 2031. Oh, man. The reason I gave all those different times is because with a virus like this, sometimes we talked about the wave, so it could peak again next fall.
Catch a wave and you're sitting on top of the world.
I'm not saying it's going to. I'm saying it could. That's why I said that. And I think June 1st is probably pretty realistic as long as our new cases in America continues to plateau and then go down.
Maybe.
If it spikes again, then you can't. You cannot lift the quarantine until you're
Housewife
sure.
in the Woods said, I think they will lift it and bring it back again, and I agree with her.
Right. That may happen, because if they lift it and the amount of cases goes back up, they're going to have to quarantine again. Sugar Creek Homestead of Tennessee.
D-Neck. Hey, Brother D, I owe you an answer to your question. I am behind on emails. We found a place today. I just need to find the website for cabins and things. So I got you on my mind.
Mick Mikey, it will happen in waves. That's exactly right. That is how influenza works. And this is not exactly influenza. It's more like SARS, but they are viruses, and that's how they work. Oh, hold on, the world's moving.
Framing.
It's a thing.
Can I say something while you're looking?
Yeah.
Have you all checked out Ronda Rousey's YouTube channel? I'm digging her. I kind of like the fact that she was a mighty warrior, but she's kind of a prepper. Not kinda, she is. And she had some money right? And so she married some guy, Travis, and
Hey,
they're
Gordy.
both hardcore into prepping. I think they live in California, but she's real, and I've been following her channel, and it's pretty good. So I recommend that to y'all. They're doing the things. And she's not fighting in MMA anymore. She's not doing WWE anymore. They want to have a baby,
It's probably a good thing too.
which I
Getting
support.
knocked in the head a couple of times is not really good for you. They are flat out homesteading though. They really are, and it's it's on a scale that their money allows them.
So Renee said, "Yeah, has told them June 1st."
I saw that.
Well, if he told you June 1st, it's June 1st. You don't get to extend that. Just saying. I have to put my glasses on. You guys are typing too fast.
Arkansas is holding around only 80 hospitalizations on any given day. We're still just at 30 deaths. And one thing that I do see reporters asking questions about, and I think it's probably worth discussing, and I'm sure Trump and his people are discussing it, is opening different places at different times. Like the locations in America that have no cases, haven't had cases, clear for the longest period of time, maybe the first place is opened up because there's no threat that it's going to suddenly show up there. And I think there's probably a pretty good argument for that.
Okay, here we go. Hey, hold on. How do I remove? No, I want to block. Hide user on this channel. Bam. There we go.
Oh, whoop. See? It's that easy.
Feel the power.
What else? What else? So some of you guys made some really good comments. Ronda Rousey could punch a hole through mortar-filled concrete. If the chat goes too fast, you can put it in slow motion. We love your channels from Dallas. Thank you. Hey, Northwest Arkansas Prepper. We are doing good. Hope the same for you. I saw your pictures of your gardening. I think that's great. Trump is good under pressure. Yep. Yeah, he was flinging it around. Silverstein said you can put it in slow motion. I don't know how. Here, there's Mad Kelt. Shalom. You got rid of that question. I'm sure that's the person you got rid of.
I'm trying. It doesn't look like I'm effective.
Oh, I probably can. There we go. And there we go. That's gone.
Black the Einstein. That's right.
Okay.
So he's going.
Mikey said, Peak Prosperity said today that it may cause long-term heart and liver damage even if you didn't have a severe case. Okay, so Peak Prosperity, I know, has reported some things that I didn't agree with, but they also reported some things I did agree with.
Hi, Mad Kelp.
So why that may be true is because the virus attacks your lungs. If your lungs are not working at a peak percentage of oxygen production.
Mad or Wes S is just pretending to be here.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll pretend that you're sort of listening to what we're saying, Wes. If your lungs are not working at 100% capacity, even if your case is mild, maybe you're not having, the severe short breath and everything, but maybe it's not the peak.
You gotta ban that guy. I can't do it right now for some reason. I don't have the power.
Where
So we have an
is
idiot.
that?
You just kind of click off to the side. There's the three dots
Right.
and it says hide user on this channel. And
Yeah.
You click on it, but it's not working for me.
Well, I just did it, so
Let me see.
it looks
I
like
gotta
it's
be
doing it.
logged in. It shows me with a wrench.
Looks
Let me
it's
try
doing it.
this.
Anyway,
Test.
what can happen is if you're not getting as much oxygen as you're supposed to get normally, it does damage your organs. Your organs have to be fed that oxygen for them to work at peak efficiency. And even if your case wasn't awful, maybe you just weren't breathing at your 100%, you're still coughing, and that could give you liver and heart damage. But I haven't seen the thing from Peak Prosperity. I'm giving you my opinion on that. Can you rename the channel you mentioned? Do you know what her name? The name
Ronda
of the channel?
Rousey.
It's Ronda Rousey. Rousey. Hello from Florida. Sarah,
Well, you're way
Sarah.
behind. I'll read you the questions that you want to answer.
Okay,
Go
Sarah.
ahead, do that one.
We are not selling Ridgeback puppies. We got
We
our,
fixed them all.
yeah, we fixed our dogs because they had a couple of litters and that was enough. It's a lot. When they have 10 puppies, it becomes kind of a difficult thing, and we're not.
12 one time.
Yeah, we're not looking to increase our workload. We're retired. Okay. Posture means everything in filling the lungs, head up, shoulders back, fill the chest. That's another thing about when people are in respiratory distress. The best position for that person is sitting upright and actually leaning forward. So if you're in a hospital bed on your back,
Like this.
no, when you're in a
Very
hospital
aggressive.
bed on your back, you're not in a good position.
I'm sitting
Your
up, leaning
lungs,
forward.
you're fighting gravity to breathe. So one of the things that causes you to go downhill is your lungs and your muscles get tired of that labored breathing.
BK said, sorry to hear about poor salt.
Yeah, did you tell them that?
I told my patrons that.
Okay, because I really just wasn't.
I think I did the write-up for the Warriors, Jarls, and Berserkers.
Yeah, I was just not gonna. I feel like telling someone and showing you a really cute picture and then the next day saying, oh, by the way, it's dead.
It drowned.
It's depressing, and it's gonna make you homesteaders be like, I
Hey,
don't know
Evelyn.
if I want to
Evelyn
get into
Vincent's
that.
here.
That is someone we need to.
Yes, we know her.
Okay.
Say hi.
Oh, you're right. Okay, shalom, Evelyn. Yeah, homesteading is not for sissies.
Mm-mm.
No, you've got to have a thick skin.
Mrs. Hermit Hill said shalom.
Shalom, Mrs. Hermit Hill. Maybe you come into homesteading and you don't have that thick skin.
You
When
better
get
develop
there.
it or you're going to have a bad time.
Right, you're going to have to develop it. The nature of homesteading is going to require that of you. That doesn't mean you've turned into an unfeeling person.
Necesito.
It just means you've got to be resilient. You've got to be more like the bamboo, right? The bamboo gives.
Good
in the
evening, Sam
storm.
Johnson, you beautiful person. He said evening, beautiful people.
Aw, that's so
I
sweet.
just kind of do running commentary over top of you, and
I
then you
see
can
that.
pick up off of it.
Right,
I don't want you to have to keep looking up there.
right. Okay. Yes.
Woodsy.
So we thought maybe we would take questions this evening. Also, if you guys have any questions, we are ready with answers. We may be able to answer things you didn't even want us to. We have many opinions and
We
much,
do.
much
We are opinionated
experience,
people.
right?
Although you're not judgmental, but I am.
What do you mean?
You're an ESFP. You're like, and I'm an INTJ. So what's the P stand for as opposed to the J?
Perceiving.
Judgmental perceiving? Whatever.
Pretty sure it's perceiving.
We do have opinions based on experience.
Yes, and I think
Water storage, please. Not water storage. You don't need to worry about water storage beyond a certain point. You need to worry about water procurement.
Why do we say that?
Go ahead.
Because the storage.
Run with it, my sister.
The storage will run out unless you can keep like a 1,500, 2,000 gallon tank in your backyard. Your storage will run out, and you need to have a plan for procurement.
Sean Harris says, do you think there's going to be a serious food shortage? Take it away, my sister.
Absolutely, Sean. And you know,
Protein. Talk about protein.
Wait, what did Wes say?
No, just
Okay.
answer one at a time,
all right.
sweetie. I'm keeping you on track.
Okay, so yes, I think there'll be a shortage, and I think there'll be a shortage mainly for or from or about whatever protein, because of reasons I've already talked about. The swine epidemic thing that was in African swine flu or something that was earlier or the end of last year that made China have to kill a bunch of their pigs, and then they had the avian flu there too, so they had to kill a bunch of chickens, and then the whole Middle East, Oman and countries around that part of the world have had these locusts coming in there and eating up all their
Deborah L., it's going to
springtime-
snow here tonight.
their springtime crops. There was flooding in areas of the U.S. where they grow rice and corn and things, so that's going to be short. I think protein is going to be an issue.
M&M Overland Adventures, who own a really cool vehicle, like the Baja support vehicle kind of thing.
Sweet.
We just started a small garden and temps went from 72 to 12 degrees with 4 inches of snow. It is helpful to cover the garden with some black tar paper to keep the soil seeds warm. That is correct.
Or do the hoop housey kind of thing. Do the PVC pipe and bend it, or the cattle panel and bend it and put some plastic over top of it.
Norm's here. Hi, Norman.
Hey, Norm.
Slanja.
Kimura Ahu.
Kimara Ahu. Norman, did I ever tell you the story about talking to the SAS guy that infiltrated the IRA and speaking Gaelic to him? Did I ever tell you that story? If I didn't, I'll tell it again here.
I was studying the Scottish Gaelic with that app.
We're not going to tell the story if he's already heard it.
I'm not going to tell the story either with that app. I forget it's the one you can put on your phone.
You're telling the story already?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying I was studying it.
I'm waiting on Norman's answer.
Bear is coming on. You guys need to coordinate better. Hey, man, he's on
You got a
all the
split
time.
screen, man. You got 2 phones, right?
He's
Put us
on all the
both on.
time. You can't
See what the Holy
schedule.
Spirit leads us to talk about.
Right, he's a busy guy.
Maybe better not, PJ. No, I'll tell you, it's funny. I had a classified briefing one time. I had to interview an SAS guy who had infiltrated the IRA and done ops around the IRA for a long time. And Sister Kate was studying Gaelic. And so I figured anybody who's infiltrating the IRA speaks Gaelic. And so I learned how to say, how do you do in Gaelic? Gemara Ahu. And I walk into the briefing room. It's in a classified facility. It's just me and him. And I walk in. He's sitting there in like a suit. And I'm in a uniform. And I said, Gemara Ahu. He goes, he just kind of looks at me. It's very awkward. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? He goes, good. Da, da, da. And we start talking. And the briefing goes fine. We get along good. I ask questions. He answers them. And we're going to take a break. And he goes, what was that you said when you came in here? And I said, Gimara Ahu. He goes, what's that? I said, it's, how are you doing? In Gaelic. He's like, no. How are you doing is blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, I'm studying Gaelic. I have a DVD or a CD or something on it. He goes, oh, that's Scottish Gaelic. It's different. Who knew? Who knew there's 2 Gaelics?
I did not know that.
I felt silly but informed. That's my story.
I knew the word for refrigerator and elephant and all sorts of things, but we stopped studying it for some reason and I forgot most of it. How do we prepare for tornadoes? Okay, that's a good question. So the number one thing you need to do
So you need to hide. I don't know why I can't work, but you need to hide this person from our channel. See, I can't hide it. It won't let me.
Okay.
It won't let me do my functions.
Hang
I think
on.
I'm going to sign out and
Sign back in.
Yeah.
All right.
Hold on. We have trolls. Go figure. Trolls and stalkers, man. They're just idiot people.
I can't find the comment though.
It's not that far up there.
I'm
Let me
obviously way
sign out.
behind.
I will sign out and sign back in. I hate YouTube. Have I told you that?
Yeah, I think I'm way behind.
Yeah, just scoot down to the bottom.
Last one I have is Norm and
You don't-
D-Neck.
Stand by while we deal with an idiot.
Na, 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 na,
We need our.
na,
Where's Biddy
na.
Boo? Isn't she a?
She is, but she's not on.
And who's your other one?
Weed Tree Bonsai.
We need Wheat Tree. She's good on this stuff.
Yup.
Hang on.
Moonlight's
Talk
got,
amongst yourselves.
Moonlight's got a good question too. Sergeant James, we're honored.
The
remove.
president's on live now, Bear's on live now, and we're on live now. Everybody who's anybody is on live now.
Someone wanted to know about how to get rid of stumps too.
All right, here we go.
Nope, still not seeing it.
All right, don't worry. You keep talking, and I'll deal with this.
I can't remember what question we were
It
answering.
doesn't matter. Just pick up from the bottom, sweetie.
All right.
You're not going to be able to answer everybody.
Okay, so somebody asked a question. They had huskies and they were getting chickens, and any way, suggestions on how to deal with that. Yeah. First thing is when you bring the birds into your situation, if they're going to be exposed to the dogs, make sure you do it when you're around. Don't just put the birds out in your yard and then leave. Because our Ridgebacks were great when we were around, and when we left, they killed a bunch of birds.
M&M Overland Adventures. I saw the video posted. I didn't have time to look at it. Sorry, brother.
So do that thing. Second thing is you definitely want to have a run for your birds. The coop is where the birds, spend the night and lay the eggs. The run is the fenced-in area outside that you let them go out and scratch in, but it's protected. You want to have that with, at least chicken wire. You want it all the way under the ground so that if something's digging at the fence, it can't just dig underneath. You want the fence to go down in the ground and out a little bit. And then up top, you want it covered. You don't want hawks and owls and everything else to be able to come in on your birds too. Then, if you can't trust your dogs and you think your dogs may attack the birds, keep them in the run. And do the thing where...
I'll just say it out loud. NWA's happy to see the fruits of his encouraging people to prep continue.
Good. Us too. We've gotten a lot of good feedback on that. So you also want to scold the dogs if they act like they're going to be aggressive towards your birds, etc. And so you try to get them used to them. And for some people, yelling at your dog words.
Gallic.
Sometimes throwing something at the dog, like a rock or a shoe or a glove or something when they're going for the birds works. Sometimes squirting them with water.
Water balloons works good too.
Yeah, water balloons, the hose, a squirt bottle, and I don't recommend having puppies of the kind of breed like bird dogs and stuff around chicks until that dog's older than a year old.
Can I tell a story?
Sure, go ahead.
We moved into our house in Kansas, and we got chickens immediately, set up a coop, and my neighbor, who had yet to meet, had a German short-haired pointer, and it came over into our yard. Now, we're on acres and acres of land, but we could still see his house. It came into our yard and would point at our chickens and start sneaking up at them. And so I would shoot near it with my .22. I wasn't trying to kill the dog. I'd shoot near it and it would run away. And when I finally got to know my neighbor, who's awesome,
None you
by
biz,
the way,
over the bush. Shalom.
I said, hey, I shoot at your dog when he comes over by my chickens, but I don't shoot at him. I shoot 3 feet away. He's like, oh, that's cool, man. I totally understand. And then he gave me country advice. He said, if you ever have to shoot somebody's dog, don't tell them about it. They won't get over it. Shoot, shovel, and shut. Good advice, that.
Okay.
All right.
West
Limited
Side
freezer
done.
space. So how do you put up large amount of meat like from a deer hunt? So you can put 3 deer.
Whoa.
You can 3 deer into a regular above the refrigerator freezer. We've done it. And then we have another large freezer at an alternate location. And what else do we do when we fill up space?
Okay, so with venison or meat, you can also can it. That's what things like, chili coming in the can, or ham or tuna in a can has been canned. So if
Wandali, I don't know.
So if you have a pressure canner, it has to be a pressure canner, not a water bath canner. If you have a pressure canner, you can raw pack can a lot of meat, meaning you will not have to cook it before you can it. Some meat, like chicken, they recommend you debone it and pre-cook it. Get it up to a certain temperature and then can it. But yeah, you can can meat and you can dehydrate it. You can make jerky. You can just, cut it into very, very thin strips and marinate it. You can salt meat That's what people used to do in the good old
That's
days.
how they made ham, right? They'd soak it in a brine and then smoke
Right.
it.
Ham, bacon, that is a salted, smoked meat. So there's more than one way to do that thing. All right. I saw none of your biz.
Alaska is not safe in World War III. Come on. It's right next to Russia.
Right next to Russia. Canned chicken is superfood. It's already cooked. When you can a meat.
C-103 Cedar.
Yep, Shalom. C-103. When you can a meat, you are cooking it and sealing it at the same time. So when you open it, you could eat it cold, just like you can eat tuna out of the can. You don't heat it up. You can do that with any of the meat you can. Shalom Rock Lick Ranch.
Rock Lick Ranch. That's like Toad Suck Park.
Such a weird name. All right. And Sister Kate. Yes, I am here also.
Everybody's
questions?
saying hi to C-103.
Well, that's
Very
because he's a
popular.
nice guy. He's a
How do they
very
know?
friendly guy.
I don't know. He
He
could be
meets
some
people.
weirdo living in a van on the side of
He
the road.
meets people. He goes to other people's live streams. not
Yes,
just
we've
ours.
heard of glassing eggs.
Suggestion on Uncle Sugar's impending check beyond, what is it?
Beans, bullets, band-aids on Uncle Sugar's impending check beyond beans. I don't understand your
I do.
question, Silver Station.
He's just saying, what else would you buy with it? What else would you do with
Oh,
it? You have the
Pay off
choice
your
is yours,
mortgage.
right? You can pay off bills. You can get yourself another firearm. Well, I guess that's that stuff. You could buy more stuff to put in your garden. You could get a really nice canner and a bunch of canning jars. You could buy livestock. You could put up fencing. I think what I would like to do, well, you could get one of those little sheds, get your garden shed or whatever.
could build a bug out shed almost.
I would
Well,
love to
not
have a
quite.
little goat shed, just because.
We're probably going to use it to pay taxes.
We've already,
I
we've
know.
got that taken care of. Buy a couple more acres at
Matt
an alternate
said
location,
Food. Food's always a good thing.
right? If you don't have food, but he
Can't
said
have-
beans. He said beans.
Oh, he did say
He already
other than
has the
beans.
beans. So he's talking about alternative. Armor, body armor.
Oh, I'm going to talk about that tomorrow.
If you don't have anything like that, you could do that thing there. You could do more securing of the place where you are.
Somebody said I'm putting in a culvert and another gate. Oh,
See?
that's Rock Lick Ranch.
You could put in steel shutters on your house if you don't have them. You could buy,
Like the German, Rouladen or whatever, the ones that roll down.
yeah, the ones that roll down. They're very secure. You could buy lots more meds. I have the perfect answer.
Okay, go.
Toilet paper.
Following Yeshua said toilet paper.
$2,400 worth. Yeah.
You're growing corn though, so we could just use the corn cobs.
No, see, the people who say use corn cobs as a toilet paper alternative have not thought this thing through. Use the leaves. Use the leaves. You want sycamore trees because they have leaves that are as big as a plate, and you want
I'm
mullein.
using a sprayer and taking a bath.
The
if we run
mullein, the
toilet
nice
paper.
soft lamb's ear, right? Get yourself a livestock guardian dog. If you don't have a Great Pyrenees
Dog, shut up.
or you don't have a watchdog, get you
Somebody
a
said they're getting an Anatolian.
German Shepherd dog. Thing about Anatolians, God bless them. They're amazing dogs. They can be very aggressive with anyone. You don't know who they're going to take offense to, so you need to be very careful with your Anatolian that he doesn't wind up biting your mailman or the census
Or the
man
visitors to Shofar Mountain.
or relatives that you don't see very often. So Great Pyrenees have a much better temperament.
That's why you're getting two Anatolians when I die.
When Yah forbid he were to kick it
Kick it.
sometime soon, and we're not talking about this kind, and I were living by myself, like on Shofar Mountain, I would get two Anatolians, probably a male and a female, because
Male outside, female inside.
they will take care of anything short of an elephant. And then I've got the Ridgebacks for the lions. So, yeah.
Right.
Other questions?
Thank you, Brother Chris. That's my plan. Although I've heard if you want to make y'all laugh, tell them what your plans are.
Corgi, what does that say?
Corgis, oh
Oh,
no.
no? You can
Just
have...
get corgis, Wes said. It's just Wes being Wes.
What? The corgis are the snack for the bigger dogs? Hey, they're cute. They bark. You can have them too. How are you two doing? Having
fun, enjoying yourself. Tell them what we think about being locked down together. Because, wait, before she gives you her bit, we have a fair amount of contacts in law enforcement. Crime is going up. Domestics are going up. And Sister Kate and I were talking about that today. Why are domestics going, domestic disturbance, domestic abuse,
right.
that kind of thing? Why are they going up? And at first I thought it was because everybody was locked in together and they weren't used to it. And I went back to my contact who reported this, and they're like, no, man, everybody's losing their job and financial problems. And, you know, I used to do marital counseling, and one of the biggest causes of marital conflict is financial problems. And so you got to deal with that. However, how are we doing with this lockdown?
Such a burden.
Such a burden.
So terrible to just stay here.
I'm
and
locked
garden.
up with this woman again.
We've basically been living this life for the past 7 years anyway, and now it's even more like...
Give me an excuse not to go interact with the people.
Right? I mean, to not have to drive anywhere, to not have to interact with people, which shouldn't be a problem. It really shouldn't be a problem, but modern people are not as polite as people have been in the past, and so sometimes it can be very stressful. But we also, because we did Shimata year last year, we have so much gardening stuff.
Yeah, we do.
That we can do and want to do, that we are just really super, super busy with all of that. And so we are fine. But this is not unusual for us. This kind of live...
The burden is real, Tony and Melissa said.
The burden is real. This stay at home all the time. You know, we get to decide what we're going to do with our day. We, you know, have our discussions about what needs doing, what would be fun to do. We have already figured out the kind of things to help us de-stress.
We sometimes we say, you know what? We're retired.
We're not doing nothing.
We earned this. Let's take a day off and we'll do nothing.
How?
Ow.
And something that Pastor said really rang with me, and I've said it before also. We have done a lot of public service time. We really have, over 30 years worth, I think, between pastoring and government service and everything. We've done over 30 years of public service. I think that's plenty. I think we've done more than most Americans do.
Well, 84 to now. We haven't really stopped since 84.
36 years. I think that's enough. There's plenty of people who work their whole adult lives not doing anything for anybody else except themselves, or doing business, which is not necessarily serving anybody. And so when it's no pressure to just decide I want to go look at all the flowers on Shofar and take pictures of them.
Walk down and look at the duck house you built.
That's right. Look at my little duck house. I still have such tiny little things to do on that deal. But my last, I think I posted a picture of it somewhere, maybe on Instagram. I finally got the end pieces of the pallet shut in, and you know, I'm ready to go on to the next project, which, as some of you know, should be framework for the greenhouse.
So Moonlight wants to know, SK, do you grow bush beans? What advice do you have for a new bean grower?
One, don't plant them until it's already frosted.
And what's it going to do tonight?
It's going to frost.
It's going to snow.
Es schneit. Yeah, that frost time is really, really important when planting.
Ducks are fine, in my opinion.
For between the cold hardy crops and the not cold hardy crops. And all your summertime peppers, tomatoes, squash, cucumbers, All of those things need to be planted after the frost, or it's just going to kill the plant. Now, of course, you can replant.
How are our peas doing?
Well, hang on, because we're not done with the bush
Hey,
beans
Rock
yet.
Lake Ranch, you said it enough. We got it. Whole beans. That's what you think. Saying it in all caps and many times over, it's not doing anything. Stop.
Bush beans, I don't have a problem with. I've planted bush beans for years. I really like the French ones that were speckled and kind of purple. The bean on the outside, but once you cooked it, it
We got
turned
those
green.
beans from Straightway that do really well.
I don't remember
Those
these.
little, they're like really dark when they come out. And we saved them 2 years ago. We're going to plant them again this year. I don't,
Mung
they were-
beans?
maybe.
That was not Straightway, but
We got a bunch from Straightway that we planted and they did fine.
I'm
They're dark.
not sure what he's talking about, but that's fine. I think bush beans are fine. Pole beans are great too.
We plant bull beans too.
Yeah, the thing about pole beans is you have to have something for them to climb up.
Hello, Bean Brian.
And if it's above your head, then you got to figure out how you're going to pick them.
The way we do that is I just lift Sister Kate straight up.
It's not true at all. I think either way is fine. And the thing about beans is you want to pick them before they get overripe.
Beans, the magical fruit.
Nope, different kind of bean. Green beans. Some of them will have the thick brown seed inside, and you can use them like kidney beans. But generally, you want to pick them before they get real big and real long, unless it's a special variety. For your canning and stuff, you want them while they're still crisp, but they've got a seam on the actual bean, and that'll get really hard as it gets older.
String beans.
Yeah,
That's the
spring
ones you
bean.
pull.
Exactly. That's the ones you
I've
snap
shelled a lot
and
of
pull it
beans in
off.
my life.
Right. So, I like beans.
Are you a morel mushroom fan?
I am
BK wants to
absolutely.
know.
I am absolutely a morel mushroom fan, and I can tell you this because I don't even know if Pastor knows this.
Oh, I bet you I do.
When I was a kid,
Please.
we moved back to the state where my dad was born.
Indiana. I knew that.
Indiana.
Lester.
And I
knew
had
that.
relatives who lived there, and the relatives who lived there a long, long time, and they fished in local, lakes and streams, and they hunted ginseng, and they showed me what a morel mushroom was, and I remembered the smell and the look of it, and then 30 years later, we're at High Prairie Acres and walking around in our low grounds. And it's springtime and it's moist.
And low.
I
the morels
smelled
did.
the smell, and I thought, oh, they're around here somewhere, and we found morels there, and they are absolutely delicious. They are a wonderful mushroom.
Norman Holland says the salmon are coming soon. He lives in
Oh,
Scotland.
you don't know, salmon is so good.
Tell him the story about the salmon. Go ahead.
Okay, so we lived. Can I tell them where we lived?
Sure, it's not secret.
On Fort Lewis. Well,
South of Tacoma, Washington,
while my husband was in the military.
on the
and
Nisqually River.
I'm one of those military wives who was not content to just sit at home and craft.
Not your typical military
I
wife.
wanted to
that's
get
fun.
out and see things, and Fort Lewis is huge. It's a huge base. Well, he likes to hunt, and as a kind of it's not a hobby, but it's something he enjoys. And so he went and registered with the range control. I forget what the facility was called, but
Range control.
you have to call them up and say, I'm going to go hunting in a certain area of the fort, and they tell you if there's, range operations going on, and blah, 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 blah. Come to find out,
None, yeah.
you can ask for areas where there's no training going on. You can say,
Are
I
we
want
telling
to
the
sign that
salmon
out.
story?
Yes. So we go and find out that Fort Lewis has all kinds of stuff on it. It has, areas where there's a bunch of plum trees, huge pear trees,
There's your Bigfoot.
Sasquatches, bears. And so we're, researching and finding and talking to people about all these things.
In
And
my
then-
ample free time off.
And then someone tells us about this fish hatchery deal. And
On the Nisqually River.
on the Nisqually River, which is running through the fort, that's once a year. And the people who controlled the fish hatchery on the fort would do the salmon would run, they would come up to the hatchery and they would take the male and the female and conk them on the head and get the eggs and the sperm and put them together in big buckets so they could grow more salmon.
Salmon hatchery.
This is, how this hatchery was self-sustaining. They were not going to let the fish be out there doing it all on their own. They were going to make sure that so many fry were grown each year. And after they conked them on the head, they gave these salmon away. And it would be in the paper just
No,
one
they
time a
would
year.
not advertise it. It was
I thought it was once a
no, it was a very
word of
close
mouth.
kept word of mouth secret, and people didn't share. And you had to wait in line. You could either wait in line for one male or two female salmon, male line, female line, and people would show up with little wagons and ice boxes of coolers of ice because it was in the summertime.
And they
Carry
also
on.
and they would also give them away. They'd let like homeless shelters and nursing homes and people like that come first and get the fish, and then it was like a
King
free for
salmon, I
all.
think.
There was coho salmon, king salmon. There was a couple of different kinds, and the female fish were huge. They were like 30 pounds, and the male fish were like 10 pounds.
I think it's the other way around. But
No,
whatever.
it's not. I'm telling you, the females were huge. And
Norman, what's bigger, males or females? Go on.
you should leave your wife. Anyway, Grandma Ginger's farm. Let me answer your question.
We're not done talking about salmon yet.
That is.
All right, I'll finish. So we waited in line, and you wait in line until they're done, and we got one of the big ones and two of the little ones.
Or three.
And we went home, and oh my gosh, this salmon is huge on our kitchen counter. We didn't have a cutting board even close to being able to deal with that. And so we ended up making salmon steaks out of the thing. Just
Norm Holland said, females are bigger.
You're so much smarter, sweetie. You were right as usual.
Anyway, it was such a weird thing trying to cut that salmon up. It was so big that I think I ended up having to stick a fork in it so it wouldn't slide off.
Stick a fork in it, he's done.
But our kids grew up. They were young, grew up eating that salmon. It was so good. It was so good. Okay, so on to Grandma Ginger's farm. Question was, what are staple vegetables that you grow? There is not one. There are many that I like to grow.
There's a good survival purpose for that. If you get a blight on something, you still have the others.
Well, and I like a variety of tastes.
Yes, Liz,
So,
that is true.
One of the things I like to grow is mustard. And I know brother Chris at Following Yeshua likes mustard, and he's got like many different varieties. I like mustard greens because they taste good. They taste like mustard. They come up in the spring and the fall.
Can I interrupt you a second?
No, just a second, Pastor.
I like Brother Chris when he walks you through his garden. It's not just here's my kale, here's my squash, here's my beans. He goes into like the precise type.
Oh, I
that
know. Here's
everything
my
is.
Chinese,
Oh,
Jamaican.
this is my
Knows them all. The variety mustard that I grow, I think, is Russian, and I brought it with me. I brought the seeds with me. You make mustard, actual mustard that you spread on your sandwich from the seeds. I haven't done it with ours yet, but you can. So I like that. I like turnips for the same reason, turnip greens. And turnip greens are pretty cold weather hardy as well.
and delicious.
And delicious. I like lettuce, and we've
Hey,
got
Farma.
many. Hey, Farma, send me a duck. We have many different kinds of lettuce that are growing like spontaneously in the garden. I like that. We like onions. I have the walking onions, the Jerusalem onions.
Do you know, I've tried to grow Jerusalem artichokes forever, and all things that I think are, I say try to grow. No one's ever sent me starts, but all the things I think are Jerusalem artichokes end up not having tubers on them. So
There's a Sasquatch right there.
squash is here.
Yeah. Shalom. Pastor likes peppers. We try to grow peppers. I like Brussels sprouts. I like cabbage. Brussels sprouts are very cold hardy too. They're awesome. So, I mean, you should grow them again. We like peas. We've never been able
We
to
have a
eat
lot of
the
peas coming up. I'm gonna do a video of that pretty soon.
Yeah, our kids always ate our peas. So
In the garden, I have never had a bowl of peas.
I've never
from our
canned
garden.
peas. I've never had enough to freeze. So we're growing a lot of peas. We like, tomatoes. I like to grow a lot of tomatoes. I like to just can the tomatoes for use later in chili and spaghetti and things like that. And squashes. We try to grow squash simply because squash is a lot of food for
It's
what
dense.
you're getting, right? It's
And
dense.
some of them store well.
Hubbard squash stores well. We had butternut squash come up spontaneously last year, and we had like 6 of them then, and we still have 2 of them left.
Thank you, Grandma.
Why is everyone saying eggs?
I don't see anything about eggs on here. Maybe my. Oh, there we go. Eggs, 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 eggs. It's Ezekiel saying it 3 times. You only need to say things once there, Ezekiel. Okay, Ezekiel, I'm about to block you
Already
from the
gone.
channel.
Ezekiel already gone.
Really?
Yeah, someone already zapped him. Probably Wes.
You made Wes a controller?
Yep.
How's Wes going to discipline himself?
It's amazing. I don't know how Wes.
Thank you, Wes.
I don't know how to answer that question. Yay, Wes. You bet, Pastor. More watermelon than we know what to do with. Watermelon makes really good.
Wine. We made good watermelon wine. It was, I think I used too much sugar and it was.
Ooh, it was
pretty good.
strong. And it tasted like
Wow.
watermelon. I really enjoyed it. And I see it. People probably
I
don't
thought
believe
it tasted a little bit like rotten watermelon.
I thought it tasted pretty good, and I'm not much of an alcohol drinker, but
No, that's
I
true.
liked his wine. I thought it was pretty good. And think about what else you can do with watermelon. You can make watermelon smoothies. You could
Just eat watermelon on the porch and spit the seeds out and let it grow more watermelons.
right, make watermelon juice.
What a concept.
Freeze it. Watermelon concentrate.
You can give the rinds to your chickens.
The birds love the rinds. I know you know this, though, Brother Chris. You probably throw all that stuff in your compost pile, and it's really good for all of that. Even the goats will eat some of it. So it's really a great food source, especially in the summertime. It's very sweet. Trump said he's opening the country early. I don't think he did. I think he
We
said
listened
they're
to
going
him
to wait.
tonight.
Yeah, I think he said they're going to wait and see.
Well,
Pickles.
what's going on with my phone? You're
You-
seeing stuff I'm not seeing.
You should use your other phone. I think. Yeah, watermelon pickles. I think that'd be really cool. Watermelon popsicles.
Oh, can't you make watermelon rind pickles? Don't people do
Yeah,
that?
that's what they were saying. I didn't know about the goats eating it. Thank you for that. I'm pretty sure they'll either eat the red or the white part. I was taught that's worth a solitary dime. Old dogs, children, and watermelon wine. What did two ladies taught to have 3 to 6 months living expenses put back for a rainy day?
That's old.
Isn't this a rainy day? Yes, it is, and that is smart. You should have 3 to 6 months of living expenses put back. You should have an emergency. You should have an emergency fund, and you should also have like what you pay your bills out of and everything. You never want to be just on the edge if you can help it. You want to try to get ahead. Have something saved. And Pastor has made this point many times in his videos, and it really is true. Try to have more than one source of income.
Oh yeah, streams of income. That's
Right.
what you want.
Right. And if you can, try to get the internet as part of that plan. Sell something on the internet or write a blog
Alex,
post
soon.
or something. Just try to have more than one. I know.
See you, Norm. It's always good to see you,
Yeah.
brother.
Bye, Norm. I knew a firefighter who also did yard work on his off times because, when you work as a firefighter, you're on 2 days and you're off 2 days and whatever. And in the 2 days he was off, he didn't laze around. He went and mowed yards and trimmed trees and stuff like that. So, the more income you can have, different streams, the better. We tried eBay. Shipping costs is terrible. But there are some people who use eBay to great effect. They find deals, they make things, whatever, and then they resell it for a profit, and they do just fine. So, like I said, use it the way you know how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? What are your thoughts on the announcement of don't take your money out of the bank?
My thoughts are, in general, you shouldn't have that much money in the bank. You should be using your money in one way or another. Yeah, 3 to 6 months expenses. I think that's fine. I also think that's fine having it in 20s in a mason jar buried in your flower garden.
Or gold coins in a mason jar.
Um, but if you're depending on the banks to hold your money, but then again, when the banks fail, how much is your money going to really be worth?
And most banks are supposed to have FDIC insurance.
Is Renee out of here?
I don't know.
Somebody said shalom, Renee. E.E. Healy, hello, foxes.
Hello, EE. What's your favorite way to reheat leftovers without a microwave?
Without a microwave, my God, honey, how could you live without a microwave?
Only microwave we've ever had was one that someone gave us because they were trying to be nice.
I thought it was our daughters bringing it back from college.
I think it was someone gave
We
it to us.
don't use microwaves. Are you crazy?
So the way I normally reheat leftovers depends on what it is. Some things are better warmed up in a frying pan, and something like fried rice. Fried rice is gonna be kind of weird if you cook it in an oven. It's gonna dry it out.
A pot guy.
If you put it in a frying pan, you can add some more soy and have oil and throw in a little bit more flavoring.
And we just ate dinner, and you're making me hungry.
While you're reheating it. But if it's something like brownies or something you baked, it may be easier to, well, let me think about it. Yeah, like I make macaroni and cheese. I make spaghetti and cheese all the time. An easy way to reheat that is to put it in the bowl, and I don't usually have a lot of plastic bowls. I usually have ceramic bowls. I put the leftover in the bowl, put the bowl in the oven, and put that there for like 350 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes, and it usually heats everything inside the bowl. And if it doesn't, you can stir it, and because the bowl's warm, the leftovers will warm up. So leftovers, it kind of just depends. I mean,
we do most of our leftovers, so let's face it, in a pot or a pan on the Coleman 2-burner stove.
A lot of times. And if it's something that I think is going to dry out when it's warming up, I'll add a little water or milk or wine or whatever goes with the leftover. How do we feel about leftovers, Pastor?
I love leftovers. They get better every day. We had leftover pad thai today that you made, yesterday, and we had it again today.
It was really, really good.
See, Sister Kate cooks really well, and I really like what and how she cooks. And so I love leftovers. She could make whatever she makes. I'll eat it for 4 days. We never do, but I could eat it for 4 days. It's just, you cook well. So.
Right. Just because you're warming it up doesn't mean you can't flavor it or add more ingredients to it. Oftentimes I do that too.
Following Yeshua is the second one to ask, what do you think the new normal is going to look like after this is all over?
New normal. Okay. I think one thing is the social distancing will carry over. I think people will be washing their hands a lot more. I think they're going to be wary in public situations.
NWA Prepper. Chili's my favorite leftover. I may head to the kitchen now.
I'm trying to think what else.
I think the whole economy could collapse. And
but I think it's going to rebuild. I think it's opportunity.
You like Trump. You're a Trumper.
No,
keep America great again or something.
No, it's because if certain businesses shut down, it leaves a vacuum. And so someone who's enterprising and hardworking can step into that vacuum and rebuild. I do think everyone's going to be wanting to grow a garden. I keep thinking of the Victory Garden thing.
In England.
Because in America, war gardens and stuff like that, I think enough people
Hi, Brenda.
are starting to realize, hey, I saw the shelves at my local store, nothing in it. I want to have food.
We're going to be lacking meat in this country.
That's right. And I think the price of meat will go up. Proteins will go up, and it'll be harder to get them. And I think the more self-sufficient you can be for your protein, the better also. And one of the easiest way to do it is to have a chicken. Have chickens. They lay eggs. Eggs are protein. They do it pretty much every day.
Goats are protein.
They don't really need a whole lot of, special food. If you can't go buy them corn, if you've got a yard, they will go out and eat crap in the yard and still lay eggs. So I think that's going to be part of it.
E. Healy thinks hyperinflation is coming.
I think we may still see shortages of stuff for a while too.
Which is why you need to be self-sufficient. You need to be your own producer of food. Be a producer of food, not a consumer. It's really important for you. We already are.
You might want to get some skills too. Think about sewing, repairing clothes, making
Rock Lake
clothes.
Ranch, I just talked about preparing for a Great Depression on Patreon today. My recommendation is join. It's $1 a month. I mean, come on.
Hair sheep is more meat, easier to raise or something. Goats, somebody said.
Less challenging than goats? I don't know about that.
I've never done
Goats
sheep.
are pretty hardy.
We're starting to ration vegetable seeds. Something you're going to want to think about if you're going to have livestock is worming, because worms will kill goats and sheep. They will get anemic and
Thanks,
then they
Renee.
collapse.
I
So
owe you an email. It's coming. It's just time.
you want to have wormer. You can do it naturally too. If you go online, there are websites that recommend certain things for worming: diatomaceous earth, vinegar, shredded carrots.
Remember what Sister Carol gave us? That walnut husk stuff?
Yeah, but
worming?
that was for people.
Oh.
That was not for animals. But you're going to want to know how to do that, or your flock could get infected, and then it's a real problem.
Pumpkins for chickens, pumpkins for us. I told Sister Kate I'm going to try and grow a lot of pumpkins this year. We did pretty good last year. And I'm going to look into Vietnamese pumpkin soup. I guess pumpkin is a staple in Vietnam. And I'm going to look into that. Wes, smoke Ezekiel.
Got him.
Thank you, brother. Just remove him from the...
I just started leatherworking, enjoying it. Something for bartering. Exactly. Leather goods are really
about that
hardy.
today.
Really hardy things. Knife sheaths,
Pumpkin pie is my
boots.
favorite.
What else can you make of leather that's really useful? Man, belts.
Thank you, brother Wes.
How to get rid of aphids on your tomatoes.
With your fingers.
No, aphids are really, really small.
Oh, the really, really
yeah,
little
the
things.
Ladybugs. Ladybugs supposedly eat aphids or something like that, but also I've heard wash the leaves. Just make you a nice warm wash water, go out there
That's
and
convenient.
just wash it off.
D-Neck says wasps eat them. But D-Neck, I have declared war on wasps here. I hate wasps. They're everywhere.
He's been
and they
stung
have
more.
attacked me in the shower.
He's been stung
Multiple.
a lot.
That was a horrifying story, which we won't go into.
Praying mantis, Stephen.
Oh, we
Wilson
love
said.
praying mantis.
Praying mantis's work. That's something.
Is it praying manti?
Brother Chris also did something on that in his video. I brought one down. I brought one with me. It was out in our field, and I put it in a jar, and I brought this praying mantis down here. They will eat all sorts of bugs.
Matt.
Another thing that you can try to have, now, there's probably pros and cons to this, but we're very bird friendly here, wild bird friendly, and I know certain birds eat certain bugs.
Lots of people said dishwashing detergent, spray it on it, kills
the aphids. Yeah.
Praying mantis are awesome. We hold them in high regard here.
Yes, they eat everything.
Didn't you take praying mantis karate?
Yes, it was a style.
Praying mantis style?
Was it karate or kung fu?
Whatever it was.
Karate.
You fought really low and you pop up and come
That's
down
right.
again?
Hey, my phone's running out of power. My battery's out.
All right, when this dies, we're done.
Carpenter bees, they've been everywhere. Mantis style from Kung Fu Panda. I did it before Kung Fu Panda ever came out.
Don't praying manti look like aliens?
They scare me. They always seem to be looking at me. And they also eat the heads off the males. Honeybees and wasps. This is... Vikings just wanted to let you
Thanks,
know.
Dave.
Appreciate the two of you. Oh, thanks, Dave. That's really sweet. We appreciate you guys too, though. It's true. Any other questions?
How do you live without electricity, Sister Kate?
How do I live without electricity? Well, we have a little bit of electricity on our solar, but a lot of the stuff we're interested in and do doesn't require electricity. We like to read books. I like to take walks. I like to hang outside a lot with my animals and all that. Canning videos, not quite so much. I've done a few.
Mark Chase, praying mantis look like hipsters. I don't know. I don't see the beard and the skinny jeans, but whatever.
The thing about canning videos is I can do it off grid, but it's not pretty. And I don't have a sink. I have a sink, but I have to like scoop water to do my washing. So it's not quick and easy.
Those kind of videos, the ones that people like of those videos, everything's neat and tidy,
Right.
and it's well filmed, and there's
Well
nice
lit
cuts.
and a nice kitchen. And
This is kind of like camping here.
yeah, I've done a couple, but I just feel if you look up, canning tomatoes or whatever, there's a million videos online. You should have a ball canning jar, or
Ball canning book.
book.
Blue
Ball
book.
blue
right?
book. That's
Yeah.
the one. I'm looking at myself and I'm not thinking. You should have the ball blue book. It's a really good book on canning.
NWA Prepper, you're a smart man. Hot water bath canning and pressure canning, two things. Just read the book and do it. It's easy.
Yeah, your canners, if you buy
See
a
a
new, will
spot.
have instructions. And the thing to remember,
We have an American canner. We've never used it.
you're a smart person, Northwest Arkansas prepper. There's two types of canning. The water bath canning is for high acidity foods like tomatoes, and the pressure canner is for everything else. Low acidic foods like
Meat.
squash and green
Beans.
beans and meat need to be done in the pressure canner, and the pressure canner will have directions with it if you buy one new. And there's plenty of books on canning. Carla Emery's Encyclopedia of Country Living will cover that. The Reader's Digest Back to Basics
That's a
will
great
cover
book.
it.
Back to
The
basics.
Stocking Up books will cover that. Don't be afraid. You can do it.
You can do it.
Thanks for the live stream. You are most welcome.
Sheepdog Patriot was one of the first ones in here, wasn't he?
He was number 2.
Number 2.
That's pretty good. And then, oh gosh, darn it. Can't think of the other. Okay. Can a solar cooker, I want to answer that question. Did you
Go
see
ahead.
it? Did you see
Can
it?
it be used for dehydrating food or just to cook?
Yes, it can be used for dehydrating.
How are you going to get the moisture out of there?
You just gap the top like you do an oven.
Okay.
Yeah, the solar ovens are awesome. They really are. And solar dehydrators too. They work wonderfully. What else? What else?
Why are tactical gun vids more popular than tactical canning vids?
I don't think somebody asked that. I think you
Following
asked that.
Yeshua asked that. He sure did.
Because
I
most
wouldn't do
dudes,
you like that, Sister Kate.
excuse me, because most dudes like things that go pow pow.
Pew pew.
They-
Pew pew pew
and
pew
and
pew pew.
they don't want to go through the years and years of training to get the knowledge. They want to be shown these things, and it's just, come on.
I know.
Nobody cares about tactical canning.
Northern Idaho Vikings. We had a really good time in Northern Idaho. I really like Northern Idaho. There's a lot of good people in Northern
There's
Idaho.
lots of mosquitoes in northern Idaho. It was
Yeah, my
absolutely
God.
beautiful. Tons of mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes enough to carry our ridgeback away.
And criminals creeping in the park that we went to.
They were.
They were criminals, and I didn't like that. More questions?
Sergeant James has come to the ultimate truth that if he watches a video on YouTube, he is, therefore, an expert.
That's exactly right,
That's
Sergeant
right.
James. Oh, yeah. All you got to do is watch one video, and you know exactly what you're doing. Maybe we need tactical gardening shovel vids. Is that what he said? Tactical Garden Show.
Tim Dunnigan, shalom.
Shalom, Brother Tim. Coming in at the last minute.
That's right.
You've been sending him some stuff?
I've been sending him a lot of stuff, but we don't talk about that here.
Okay. Let's hit
Have you ever
that.
made cheese?
I have made feta cheese many, many times. Fiasco Farm, Fias Co, like company, farm, has a very easy feta cheese recipe on there with instructions, and that's how I do it. I've also made ricotta cheese, and I think I made cottage cheese. I have not made a hard cheese yet because I just figured I'd buy it at the store. Hard cheeses require special bacteria. And I'm sure after a little experimenting, we could probably figure it out a little bit.
Somebody asked if you can use a pressure canner on a glass stovetop.
I have done it. It's not recommended. I think it scores it or it kind of burns it, so it's not perfect anymore. But I did it anyway because I didn't have another stove, so I just went ahead. Hey,
Did I buy you a yogurt maker? I bought you a cheese press. I don't think I bought a yogurt
no,
maker.
because a yogurt
I bought you
maker.
a kimchi maker thing, and you never made me kimchi.
I'm waiting for the cabbage.
Tim Dunnigan could show us how to make kimchi, I bet.
Our daughter made kimchi.
The delicious kimchi.
Delicious
How come I
kimchi.
have no kimchi?
Wife is
You must
defective.
not love me.
Wife is defective. Trade her in.
Yes, a pressure canner can be used on a glass top range. We just talked about that.
Yes, they can be used, but it may leave like it's like a burn mark on the top of that thing. So if you want it to be perfect, I don't recommend it, but I did because I didn't care.
I think kimchi smells delicious.
Hey man, we're not doing spam.
Who was talking about spam? You must be out of me.
There is a person. Oh man, my live stream has been interrupted. Thank you, Amanda Rentier. We are not doing spam. No spam. Nope. We can do other meat and flavor it like spam. I would be all
And now I'm
about
jonesing
that.
for some real kimchi. We found a real Korean restaurant near us, and they actually have like a kimchi bar.
Many different kinds of
All
kimchi.
the different kinds of kimchi, and you
Cucumber
can get as much as you
kimchi
want.
and
It
radish
just comes with the
kimchi.
meal. Oh my gosh.
And yes,
Didn't we
Wes,
take
as you told
Tim
the
there?
phone. Yes.
Yes.
It
He'll
was
tell you if it was good or not.
I thought it was very yummy. Yes, I use camera. Are you making kraut?
Not yet, but we want to.
I want to. I've made it in the past from scratch. It was delicious. I canned it.
Shalomi, my homie.
It was something else. And he got me a really cool special kraut maker that I want to use. So I'm waiting for our cabbage. Hopefully
How
we'll get a
often do
bunch.
we do live videos? Whenever we feel like it. We're not good enough to say every Tuesday or something.
Yeah, I don't want to be tied down to the I have to show up at Wednesday at 7. We do them periodically, sometimes a couple times a week, sometimes not for a couple of weeks, and usually it's terrible about this. Usually we give about 10-minute warning.
That's right.
It's not because we don't care, it's because we're retired and we don't like being imposed upon. Can you send me tried making it. I just took it to the trash. It was all bad. Narrow date, no set. The kraut,
I mean, it's similar in that it's probiotics, right?
right, it's fermenting, and it's got to be at sort of a temperature range. I think it's around 78 or something, and you're also supposed to skim a scum off of it if it forms, and if you don't get a chance to do that, it
Hello,
just kind
Gary.
of rots. So yeah, I've tried making kraut, and it got interrupted because I went on a trip, and when I came back, it was just nasty. Yes, this is why I missed the live talk. Sorry, Susan Bryant, but you've made a few. It's always good to see you.
Kombucha. We used to make a lot of kombucha.
Yeah, kombucha, we have made, and I've got some out in the fridge that's just kind of hanging out until I want to make kombucha. It's really easy. It's fermented tea. Basically, you just need a bit of a starter from some sort of kombucha and some sugar and some black tea.
Wes says. He tried to make some kraut with apricots, left it too long, and just had to
Just
drink
had
it.
to drink it, by George. Yeah, poor fella. Yeah. Well, now my battery's probably going to run out. So if we disappear, that's what happens. I love fermented grapes. I do too, brother. I made some last year. I
Yes,
still
we have
some.
elderberries, and we make elderberry jam out of them.
And they're growing wild. The elderberries that are here just grew wild. So I didn't buy them and plant them. No.
You're welcome, Brandon.
Okay. Elderberry wine. I've not done elderberry wine
We
yet.
don't have that many elderberries.
Oh, it's about 4 bushes. And the ones are so tall, they're the ones I wanted to transplant. I didn't get around to it, but there's also some growing down by one of the goat pens. Cactusberry wine is pretty good also. I think he said that last live stream I was on. Yes, kimchi is fermented like kraut is and has many different ingredients. Peppers and garlic, radish, and all sorts of stuff. Always good to see you guys happy and healthy.
Oh yeah, it's a
Thank you for all the
burden
wisdom.
being locked down here on Shofar Mountain, not being able to go anywhere.
Started taking elderberry the last couple, and there's a what do you call it?
What's the stuff Naomi made for us?
A cough syrup that's sold at that Wally World's called Sambucol or something like that. So,
What's this?
oh, what is that?
It's like she gave us a bunch of stuff in a jar and said go fill it with vodka, and it's been more than 14 days now. What's this for?
We need to call her. I don't remember.
When do we take this, Naomi?
Tincture. When do we take the tincture? Crazy Canuck, you are late to the party.
It looks disgusting, but this time we did it with good vodka. What do we use? Grey Goose?
Yeah, we
Absolute?
did buy. We did buy a nicer vodka. We didn't get the cheap.
Because
vodka.
we made elderberry stuff with bad vodka. Oof. And so we bought good vodka. I think it was Absolute or Grey Goose or something.
Ever made or had Lisa Norwegian flatbread?
No.
I think we bought
Oh,
some.
did what's her name make it for us?
No, she made
Cinna?
some sort of weird rice dish, I thought. But yeah, I think I have had it. It was something we bought. It was really dry and crunchy. That's why he ate from the grill. Mrs. West S.
Mrs. West says.
Yes, said he ate the bugs off of his radiator grill with his cactusberry wine. Wes, you are a one-of-a-kind guy, dude. That's awesome.
Have we met Mrs. West S?
Yeah, I did. We met her at the thing.
No.
They were at the thing, and we were there.
And we were at the
met
thing?
him. Yeah, met a lot of people at that thing.
Well, you know. Well, how long have we been on? Can you tell?
Hour and 13 minutes and 27 seconds.
You want to say goodbye to the peeps?
Okay.
It's starting to get dark. When it gets dark, we go to bed, and when the sun comes up, we get up.
Look, I've got to put my ducks up. Look at this, my shirt draped. This looks.
Stay survived. You can send me one.
Arkansas Preparedness still around? I believe so. They have their own website and all that.
I'm not sure.
You'd have to go check it out. All right. Good night, you guys. I'm gonna go take care of my ducks. It's good to see everybody. Stay home.
Yeah, stay home. Enjoy life. Plant a garden.
That's right. Bless you. Good night.